Hi, all of you are back to Soccer Wolf, and this is the transfer news that is available today.
Adama Traoré threat highlights another example of Michael Edwards' transfer mastery. Liverpool were linked with Wolves forward Adama Traoré last summer. And he is just one example of the changing nature and hype around transfers in the modern era. The transfer window can often feel frenzied and illogical. A place where decisions are too often made emotionally rather than dispassionately and analytically. Liverpool, for their part, have veered heavily towards the latter in recent years. Hence their success in meticulously building a team of players capable of fitting into a demanding tactical system. This doesn't mean, of course, that the Reds are immune from absurd transfer rumors. Had Liverpool signed every player linked with the club over the past few years, they would almost certainly be in a less healthy financial position. And likely with an unbalanced squad. 2. Perhaps the most obvious example of this is last summer's speculation surrounding Wolves winger Adama Traoré, who Liverpool will face on Monday night. Traoré is a player who was at one point was said to be valued at a staggering £100 million. Understandably, Liverpool did not move for the Spaniard, nor did any other club, though that was almost certainly Wolves' intention. Traoré was simply another example of the kind of inflation that follows short-term hype. A period of excitement backed up by very little substance. As plenty of GameStop investors recently discovered, jumping on the bandwagon can be a dangerous game. Had Liverpool or any other top club spent an enormous sum of money on Traoré, they might well have been left thoroughly underwhelmed by the outcome. The 25-year-old has yet to register a single goal or assist in 23 Premier League appearances for Wolves this season. That's not to say that Traoré is a bad player. He's unquestionably effective in the right circumstances, against tiring teams or vulnerable fullbacks. His combination of speed and strength is, regardless of assists and goals, frightening. And he is at a good age to take further steps in his development. But he encapsulates the problem with the transfer market. The kind of frantic, anxious restlessness that seems to consume football fans, especially those on social media, throughout the summer months. Liverpool do not and will never need to spend £100 million on a player as one-dimensional as Traoré. There is a plan in place at Anfield. One that has worked consistently over the last few years. Ripping that up and spending with wild abandon would do nothing but harm the club's future chances of success. Thankfully, Liverpool's decision makers, most notably Michael Edwards, will not be swayed by the noise on Twitter. They won't feel pressured into making a signing, into spending money that isn't really there to spend. Every potential addition is analyzed rigorously. Panic buying is something to avoid at all costs. And that should be the approach for all clubs. Even when there are relentless calls from supporters to sign a certain player or spend more money. The transfer market is mostly noise and bluster. So being able to ignore that is the key to successful dealings. For the purposes of this example, Traoré's asking price has been highlighted. But there are dozens of others whose values skyrocket on the basis of unsubstantiated promise. Intrinsic value in football is not always something tangible. Of course, and there are plenty of outliers. It should, though, be obvious when something doesn't look right. If the potential fee makes you double take, it's probably not even worth discussing.
Thank you all for your interest and follow-up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications from the latest video. And I'm the Soccer Wolf Transfer Channel.